Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jason and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains. Well, it's been 5 years since we started this layout. It has been such a great journey, and I just want to thank all of you for joining me on this journey and subscribing to the channel, becoming a Patreon member, buying kits that I produce, all the donations that I've received over the years as far as like kits, vehicles, figures, anything that anyone has sent me. Thank you all so much. All right, in today's video, we're going to talk about the layout and we're going to get a bunch of work done too. I don't want this just to be about a tour of the layout. I've been very, very inspired. So let's get some work done. Recently, my wife and I took a trip back to Iowa and Illinois, right along the Mississippi River. And the first thing I noticed was that this layout could be set somewhere in the Midwest along the Mississippi River. And what's interesting is that I hadn't been back there in probably close to 8 years. Now, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I said that this layout is now 5 years old. So subconsciously, I modeled what I grew up seeing. It was just so incredible to see that area back there. There were buildings back there in the town I grew up in, built in the probably late 1800s, that had been remodeled over the years, added on to. They looked extremely old, and some of the buildings back there are just extremely run down. So when I came back, first off, anytime you leave your home or you're away from your layout for any length of time, I think when you come back to it, you're sort of refreshed and you have a different view of it. So I've been so inspired to work on the layout lately. It just gave me some new ideas being back there. For instance, you may have noticed there used to be a wood trestle right here. And I removed that wood trestle and I put in all that styrofoam. Now, that will be all rock. Now, in Iowa, there's a lot of that where there's these steep rock cliffs that just go straight up. And there's track next to them or roads next to them. So I have a clear vision now of what that's going to look like. And I also just put in my newest kit right here. And so that inspired what's going to go behind it and next to it. So I'm pretty excited about working in this area. So we'll probably get a little bit of work done today in this area. And then we have some really tall buildings over here. And lately I've been going through some of my old kits, and I found some stuff that's going to work. That's going to have to be kit bashed, but it's definitely going to work over in this area. So we'll work on that too. After placing this structure here, I was inspired. Well, I'll tell you, originally I was going to have it sit back up against this wall right here. And I moved it forward to continue this little, I don't know, waterway through here. Now, as you can see, I got inspired and started doing a kit bash. And I think that we'll have a concrete pier under it. It'll obviously come out a little bit further, but it'll go down and then it will come out right there. And then we'll have a sidewalk coming down. It'll probably come down a little bit. There'll be a landing and then more steps going down. It may look something like this. All right, let's head over to the workbench and we'll talk about this. Okay, so I brought the model over to the workbench and you can see it's two separate kits. So here is one kit. It is the February 2024 kit from Foss Kit of the Month Club. And then we have another Foss Kit of the Month Club, and it is the June 2024 kit. So I left off the peaked roof and then cut off that section back there. Actually, I cut straight down. Well, let me grab a pencil. So I cut over a little bit and then down. And you can see that's the side and the front. So I cut this side to match. I cut off the overhang, I don't know, maybe it was a ½ inch more. It stuck out to here, and so I cut that back because I needed it to not stick out further than the bottom, because we're going to put posts going straight up. Now on this side we're going to take stairs and railings. I'll show you quick. And they're from Tichy Train Group. We'll have a little bit of the platform come out. We'll just do a square, and then these steps are actually going to go back. This is the front, so on the side it'll look like this. Those steps are going to go back, and there'll be a railing down the side of it. Then up here there'll be another deck. We'll have railings around here, but we'll have a ladder that goes up to a deck maybe right here, and then another ladder that takes you up to this, and we're going to put another flat deck like that on top of here. And this will blend in really nice with all of the structures over there that are 2 to 3 story tall structures. But we have a lot of work to do on this. I don't know if it's a lot, but a lot of tedious work with railings, and I was considering using these pipe railings, these wrought iron ones, around here and around here. That allows me to add some rust to these and add some rust to the wood where it attaches on the deck. And you know I love rust. Then we're going to take some pink styrofoam and cut a concrete pier that this sits on, and it'll extend out, and then we have some another structure that's going to go at the end. So the concrete pier, like I said, will come out, and then it'll go out this way, and over here I'm going to have a long thin structure, and I think I'm going to use these two. This will go on the bottom, and we'll make sure that's straight and it's raised in the front. We're going to cut that off so it's completely level. Then I think we're going to put this one up on top of it, and we may do a deck in the front with stairs going down on the side. So it'll be like this, but a little shorter, where this is 3 stories, that one is only 2 stories. Back to this one, we have a front that goes on here. There's a lot more pieces, but there's a door and windows. So that'll really complete that area, and then like I said, we'll have stairs going up in the center to get up to track level. Oh, this is the April 2024 kit, and this is March 2024 kit. If you don't already belong to this club, you need to. It is just incredible to get these in the mail, and there's so much that you can do with them. Even if you built it just like this, you get to practice doing nail holes or roughing up the siding. It's just, these are so good for practicing different techniques. And then, like I always do, I use them for kit bashing. Okay, I'm actually going to open this one just so that I can get a footprint of the building. Maybe we'll get the pier that this is all going to go on, the concrete pier. Maybe we'll get that cut today. Okay, let's move this out of the way very carefully. Now we have this structure and the footprint of our other long structure. So we're just going to make a pattern for that pier. Okay, we'll paint this to look like concrete. We'll take wooden dowels and put pilings all in the front of this and get barnacles on there. There's a wood pier back here, and we're going to extend that out right to the edge there. And then this will go back in place. And then again, we'll have a little platform that comes out and steps that go down halfway, a little platform, and then steps that go down the rest of the way. So that's how people get to all of these stores and restaurants and all of this stuff from street level is right here. And maybe we'll put like a decorative arched gate here, and we'll call this area, we'll come up with a name for it and maybe put a sign there. Maybe even put signs that tell all of the storefronts that are in this area. All right, this is exciting. Okay, sorry, I know I was off camera, but here's all the storefronts and restaurants that I was referring to. And the front of this will end up looking like that over there, just shorter. But we'll get the pilings in there, barnacles. Now this area up here, I actually cut this in half. Give me a second and I'll show you the other half of it. Okay, this is not going to go there. This was on the other side of this, just like that. And so I simply cut it in half, and we'll cut this end flat, and then the other end that's going to have to be moved, but it'll go like that. And this will be up at this level here. Now here are the pillars, so we'll cut those to the correct height, and then again I'll cut these right down the center. And then inside these arches, we'll either put brick walls, or I'm leaning towards just concrete because that's a huge brick wall. So it'll probably be concrete in there. Okay, and like I said, we'll cut this straight, and then the rock will kind of go up against it, and we'll have it sort of angled down in front of the pillar. And then the rock mold, I'll fit rock molds to go right up against this. And what I do is I take drywall screws. You could take nails too, but just I like just with your hand, not a tool. Just put those in about halfway, or so they're sticking out maybe 1/4 of an inch. Have this all screws, or like I said, nails sticking out. Then when you put your mold, your rock mold on there, it sticks to it. I chose to do concrete over here to tell a story. I don't want this to look like it was all built at one time. So obviously you can tell by the rooftops, this was built one time along with these. And then maybe this was built, this whole area over here, built at a different time. And then this maybe is the newest structure in the area. You can even tell by the style of the pier and the pilings. Now I'll be adding barnacles to these. But I don't want everything to look like it was built all at once. I found a better example of what this is going to look like. I recently bought these two engines on Amazon, and They're fairly inexpensive, and I bought them just to practice my weathering. So I want to completely weather these and renumber them. But this is what I grew up seeing in Iowa when I was a kid. Again, I think these will be great to practice weathering, and if they turn out great, awesome. I'll actually buy some detail parts and completely detail them. And of course, I had to get a matching caboose. Now, this kit comes with a lot of detail parts, a lot that all have to be added. This will completely get weathered though. All right, we need to make some really tall buildings that go over here. And as you can see, they're going to be background flats. These two here will probably get two sides put on them. But after going through some of my old kits, I think I have found a couple buildings that are going to work, at least for these two structures here. And then later we'll have to come up with some kits that go over there. Let's head over to the workbench and get started on these two. Okay, for the structure that sits on the corner that's closest to the viewer, I'm using a DPM kit. Now, as you can see, I cut some length off of that one and length off of that. So we'll completely paint that. Not in today's video, but we're going to completely paint this, and we'll put our acetate in for our windows. I may even do a fire escape, I'm not sure. But then we'll take this, we'll lay this on our copier, we'll photocopy it and make the other side. And then I'll probably do multiple photocopies and add strips of wood to recreate this trim so that it's not flat, it's more three-dimensional. And then we can take the photocopy, and wrap it around the wood strips and glue it onto the side. We'll try to make it as close as possible to this so that it really looks three-dimensional. Now let's work on the background structure. Okay, for the background structure, we're using this kit right here from Walthers. Now, as you can see, it's N scale. So we're going to stack these two like that, and then we're going to put this one on the top. So that'll be the entire structure. Now it's actually taller, so the bottom portion, again, after we get this completely painted and weathered, we'll lay it on the photocopier and make a photocopy of this, and then put that on the bottom. And again, we'll take strip wood and add our trim so that it looks three-dimensional. Now this one too has to get a little bit of a side put on it, but again, all that will be photocopied. Now, I've already done one like this in the opposite corner of the layout. Let me quick show that to you. Okay, well, as you can see, it already makes a huge difference having these here. Now, because this one gets a side put on it and this one gets a side put on it, we have a triangle rooftop and a triangle rooftop here and here. So you can put rooftop details, you can add billboards. There's just so much that you can add to make these look more realistic. We'll put some little smokestacks and big air conditioning units, a lot of details. Now this is great because now we have two projects that can be worked on in the evenings. Okay, I did get these pillars cut to size, and that's up there temporarily. It'll be concrete wall in there, but I think there's going to be a decorative arch, a smaller arch inside there that maybe comes up to here. Now, the arch here, I'm considering having a tunnel for cars and putting a mirror back at the wall. Or I can have it curved and put the mirror at an angle over there. So that won't be there. So that'll be up there like that. And then we'll have a tunnel right there in the center. Because our road comes right along here, crosses over the tracks, and goes through here. We have to fill all this area in with styrofoam. And then there would be like a T intersection, and it would go back into that tunnel. Yeah, let's try to fill that all in next. Originally, I was going to have this all open back there and have some structures up on piers, but I'm running out of room, and I need that road to connect. When I say I need that road to connect, let me explain. Like I said, that road comes through here, crosses, goes over, goes through here, back there, across, right there, and then goes up. Now it will go uphill right in front of those buildings, and then goes in between those buildings right there, and there'll be like a T intersection up there. Now back to this road. We go along here, connects right there, goes uphill, and goes right, goes into a tunnel over there. Now back here, it's hard to see, but back in that corner right there, there's another tunnel. So that road comes out right there, right through here, crosses a bridge. The actual road, I think, will be behind these buildings. I'm sorry. Go back behind there. And there'll be a bridge right there for cars. And that road picks up. And comes out right here. And then comes across and connects. And into that tunnel there too. So that main road travels through the entire layout. Okay, back to this. We need to create a paper pattern for the shape that we want, and cut 2 layers of foam and fill in that hole. Now we're still going to have these here just like that, And we'll put big water pipes coming out of those, just like those water pipes. Okay, the area is filled in. I do have a little hole down in the corner there that I have to fill in. I'll cut a chunk of styrofoam, but actually this all gets covered with thin pink styrofoam, or you know what, that gets covered, that area there and that area there gets covered with stone, just like that. So now our road comes through here, crosses, goes back, and back behind those buildings there. And some of the stuff is just sitting there. It's not where it's going to go. I am constantly moving structures around. You may have noticed I had my piano kit that I offer on my website sitting right there, and it was too close to the tracks. It just didn't work. Temporarily, it's right there on the hill, and it may get moved again, but it's nice to have that freedom to keep moving structures around until you're completely happy with the scene. And I think that structure there fits perfect. Same with that little one next to it. Perfect there. And then again, this all gets stone, or not stone, but rock. And then we'll get cement in here, and then we'll put big trees. I want big fall trees in front of this area. Wow, what a mess. You know, we jumped around a lot today and worked in different areas on the layout and worked on different projects. And it was kind of on purpose. I want to let you know that it's okay. It's okay to jump around and work on different areas. It's okay to work on different projects. It's your layout. It's your hobby. Life is too short to be following rules on something that you do for fun. We are just creating miniature little worlds. And for me, trains add animation to that little world. So I just want to let you know that it's okay to jump around. I know for me personally, I like to jump around because then you can't tell an old section from a new section. If you're constantly working all over your layout, it's all showcasing your current techniques. So I definitely like to jump around. Now, I'm sort of on a deadline, sort of a made-up deadline. It's been 5 years to this point, and I would like to finish the layout in another 5 years, possibly 6, and have it completely finished. And then at that point, I want to focus on painting and weathering rolling stock, engines, just have fun filming and photographing it and running trains. But eventually, I would like to see this entire layout end up at the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. I believe that they're expanding the museum and eventually going to build another structure. I don't know that for sure, but I would love for this layout someday to be at that museum so that people can enjoy it, and people can photograph it, people can shoot videos of it. I want it to be open to the public so that everyone can enjoy it. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, I don't follow the typical rules that maybe the magazines talk about, or other modelers maybe of a certain age talk about. I'm not one to find a track plan, build the bench work, lay the track, do all the electrical. I love structure building. That is my passion. So I had so many structures prior to this that were on an old layout. So when I built this layout, I laid out the bench work and then just started moving structures around. So if you have a lot of structures that you've built, figure out the space that you want to have your big layout or diorama or a shelf layout, and then just start placing your buildings around as if you're just building a small town or a city. Just keep moving buildings around, and if there's certain buildings that have large freight doors that maybe you want to be serviced by track, maybe those will go in a certain area. Just keep moving structures around until you're excited and happy with it, and then put your track in and around all of those structures. So I think too many people get hung up on needing a track plan first and then fitting buildings. And me personally, I don't work that way because my passion is structure building. Now, if your passion is running trains and operating trains and having operating sessions, then that's not going to work for you. You definitely need to find a track plan that works best for like your operating sessions. Then start placing all your buildings around it. But I say that just because I know a lot of modelers get stuck. So hopefully I'm providing some tips and techniques to keep you motivated to keep moving forward. I guess really what I'm trying to say is you don't need to follow specific rules because we're just having fun. It's a hobby. So it's your time away from everything to sort of de-stress. So just have fun with it. Really, just have fun and keep moving forward. I mean, we accomplished a lot today, and it's not in one specific thing, but if you keep doing that every week, you know, by the end of the month, you're going to have a lot of work accomplished on your layout or diorama. All right, well, I'm kind of rambling, so until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.